the ancient kingdom of Ijebuland. The throne of the Awujale has stood for centuries as a fortress of courage, intellect, and political mastery. But behind the reverence lies a tapestry woven with wars, colonial intrusion, dethronements, scandals, reforms, assassination attempts, and historic transformations. This is the untold chronicle of the Awujales. It is the story of the men who reigned from the smoking ruins of the British-Jabu War of 1892 to the passing of one of Africa's longest reigning monarchs in 2025. It is a story of how the crown fought the empire and how the empire fought back. The modern history of the Awujale throne was forged in fire in 1886 with Oba Adesimbo Abokitunwase I. He ascended a vacuum. His predecessor, Oba Fidipote, had fled to Epe, and Tunwase's crown was secured only through the formidable muzzle of Balogun Onafowokan, Ijebu's most powerful warlord. But Tunwase inherited a kingdom in the crosshairs of the British Empire. In Lagos, Governor Gilbert Thomas Carter and his acting governor, Captain George Chadin Denton, were tired of Ijebu's control over trade routes. Denton provoked the conflict, but it was Carter who authorized the Magbon expedition. In 1892, the hammer fell. Colonel Francis Cunningham's Court led the British Expeditionary Force to Imagbon. There, British Maxim guns crushed the Ijebu army. The defeat was absolute. Tunwase, now a king in a conquered land, faced an impossible choice. To placate Governor Carter, he vacillated between Christianity and Islam, alienating his traditional chiefs. Under the cold gaze of British officers, he signed the treaties that ended Ijebu sovereignty. He died a controversial figure, the king who presided over the twilight of independence. In 1895, the throne passed to Oba Adeleke Ogbagba I of the Anikilaya ruling house. His legitimacy was sealed by the ancient rite of levirate marriage. He married one of Oba Tunwase's widows. From that union was born Prince Rufai Adetona, the father of the future legend Oba Sikiru Adetona. But while Ogbagba secured his bloodline, the colonial government was securing the state. Enter Governor William McGregor. McGregor was not a soldier. He was an administrator. He didn't want to kill the king. He wanted to employ him. Under McGregor's indirect rule, the Awujales authority was steadily eroded. The Oba became a salaried appendage of the colonial government. For the first time in history, the Awujale was less a sovereign deity and more a high-ranking civil servant. In 1906, the British hoped Oba Adetona Fusigboye would be another compliant employee. They were mistaken. Adetona became the face of resistance. when the colonial government tried to push through the Brown concession, a fraudulent deal giving a British businessman exclusive rights to Ijebu timber, Adetona mobilized his chiefs and killed the deal. The backlash was swift. The man charged with breaking the king was District Commissioner Charles Patrick. By 1913, the tension exploded into civil disturbances. Patrick, furious at the king's defiance, retaliated by stripping the Awujale of his judicial powers. He humiliated the throne, yet the local council remained astonishingly loyal to the king. Adetona's reign proved that a salaried king could still have a sovereign soul. Following Adetona's death, the script of succession was shaded by Major H.C. Morehouse, the Secretary of the Southern Provinces. The rightful heir was the 23-year-old Prince Adenuga. Morehouse rejected him, citing his youth. Instead, the British installed a placeholder, the elderly Oba Ademolu Fesogbade. He was weak, he was old, and he was dethroned within a year. Into this vacuum stepped the year of the interloper, 1916. Oba Adekoya Eleruja ascended. He was not Abidagba. He had physical deformities, and he was quelled. Allegations reached the colonial office that Adekoya spat on his palace servants, the ODs. This was too much even for the British. Captain W.A. Ross, the resident of Oyo who consulted on the matter, enforced the removal. The British machine churned, and Adekoya was deposed within months. In a bizarre twist, the British reinstated the old Oba Ademolu in 1917. He served as a passive caretaker until 1925, a symbol of a throne in total disarray. In 1925, the prince, once rejected for his youth, finally took the crown. Oba Adenuga Folagbade, but the years of waiting had curdled into greed. His reign spiraled into scandal. He sold sacred chieftaincy titles to ex-convicts. He turned the palace into a marketplace. The colonial resident, P. Amory Talbot, began compiling a dossier. Talbot documented every bribe, every shady deal, building an ironclad case against the king. The hammer fell on February 4, 1929. Captain W. Buchanan Smith, the lieutenant governor, signed the order. Oba Adenuga was not just dethroned, he was banished to Ilorin. He remains the only Awujale formally exiled by the colonial administration. The throne passed to Oba Ali Ogunaike Fibiwoga. His 4-year reign was a struggle to wash the stain of scandal from the palace. But the damage was deep. Contemporary observers, including the fiery Reverend Ransom Kuti, described this era as, quote, distasteful, unquote. Despite his best efforts, Fibiwoga could not fully restore the dignity of a throne that had been sold to the highest bidder. 1933 brought the dawn of the modern era with Oba Daniel Adesanya Gbelebuwa II. He was the first educated Christian Awujale. To the traditionalist, he was a threat. He survived 2 assassination attempts, including a vicious attack by a zealot named Yusufu Idimota in 1934. But in a twist of irony, the colonial government became the king's protector. Resident G.G. Shute and later Resident F.M.H. White supported Adesanya's reforms. They backed him as he dismantled the political power of the secretive Oshogbo cult. With British backing, Adesanya rebuilt the palace, demanded financial autonomy, and engaged in private business. He dragged the monarchy into the 20th century, setting the stage for the giant who would follow. Oba Adesanya's reign was defined by survival and suspicion. Having lost an arm in one of 2 assassination attempts, he ruled for over 2 decades in sheer paranoia, his remaining hand often hidden beneath his regal robes, but his physical scars were matched by political ones. Accused of lacking royal blood and even rumored to be from Ijebuland, he was branded a quisling. His subjects whispered that he was the mole exposing the locations of Ijebu, the illicit counterfeit coins minted deep within the sprawling forests. April 2, 1960. The sun was setting on the British Empire. Sir John Rankin, the governor of the Western region, oversaw the accession of a 26-year-old prince, Oba Sikiru Kayode Adetona Ogbagba II. His father, Prince Rufai, has stepped aside for him. Adetona's 65-year reign breached 2 worlds. He saw the British leave only to face new domestic tyrants. In the 1980s, he clashed with civilian governor Olabisi Onabanjo, who tried to depose him. Fate intervened in the form of the 1983 military coup. In the 1990s, he stepped down the dictator General Sani Abacha, openly protesting the imprisonment of his kinsman, General Oladipo Dia, and in death on July 13, 2025, he fought one last battle. Defying centuries of custom, he ordered an Islamic burial, barring the Oshogbo cult from his remains. The military had to guide his corpse to enforce his will. He died as he lived, unconquered. With the passing of Oba Sikiru Adetona, the Awujale stool stands vacant for the first time in 65 years. The Fusengbua ruling house prepares to present the next heir. Whoever emerges will inherit a legacy shaped by colonial officers like Carter, Partridge, and Talbot, and by the resilience of the kings who outlasted them. In choosing the next custodian, will the decisive force be the Ori, the inscrutable destiny, or the rigid traditions of men? For if this chronicle teaches us anything, it is that the throne has never bent solely to procedure, but repeatedly to providence. The ultimate winner in this cycle of succession may end up singing Àánú mo rí gbà adé orí ọ̀kìn.
Missing fresh African vegetables? AB Foods gets you covered. Your trusted West African food wholesaler here in the UK. Ugu, Ewedu, Onding, fresh fufu, and plenty more. Delivering a sharp, no stress. Every fresh, organic, and pocket friendly. From just £1.20, you'll fit grab your favorite, plus reduced shipping as street discount on big orders. Just visit abfoodsfv.com. Collect for warehouse or make we deliver at your doorstep. AB Foods, bringing the flavor of Africa straight to your table. No darling. Order today.